Collaborative Integrated Communications for Construction, or CICC, is being led by BICC. Other members of the consortium include Bovis, Ove Arup, BT and its Spanish equivalent Telefonica. The main aim of the project is to show how technologies like virtual reality, video and intranets can be combined to support collaborative working between dispersed construction teams. Ray Crotty is at Bovis, one of the partners in the scheme.
The main aims of the CICC project are to improve collaboration amongst the participants in particularly large construction projects. If you consider a large modern project, it may have up to 20 consulting firms involved in it and anything up to 100 specialist contractors. If you consider that as a virtual enterprise, the challenge of getting effective communications amongst a group of companies like that is enormous. That's primarily what CICC is aimed at. I think different people have different understandings of what collaboration in the construction industry context is about. For us, there are at least two layers at which collaboration works. One is the general social level, that is to say, making people who are perhaps remote from the construction site aware of what's going on the construction site, keeping them up to date with events on the site and providing some feedback to them as to what's happening on the job site. At a more detailed technical level, collaboration is about sharing information of a technical nature, primarily technical nature. So you might consider sharing databases, for example, or sharing access to drawing registers and things like that as being collaboration. At the ultimate level, collaboration is about actually sharing applications over a wide area network. Now that's a more demanding and ambitious objective, but ultimately that's where we're hoping to go with CICC.
CICC is developing an integrated approach to handling all the types of project information that exist, such as CAD databases, unstructured electronic documents, paper, the reality of the site itself, and even the facts in people's heads. The objective is to present the information in the same way that an ideal project manager visualizes the project, making information accessible to the whole team. Bovis Construction is trialling the CICC technologies at the Bluewater Park retail development. Web browser and other software is being used to provide single-source access to project information and personnel over the Bluewater multimedia network. It connects the site to the client's London office and other remote consultants and contractors. The Bluewater network uses a combination of interconnected leased lines and ISDN. These provide the client and project team with the ability to exchange email files, view and interact with all kinds of project drawings, documents and schedules from central and distributed databases.
As I said earlier, we're trying to address communications at two levels, really, in CICC, and specifically on Bluewater. What we're trying to do is deal with the social level of communication, social interaction using technologies, using things like screensavers and the video conferencing technologies and things like that. Specifically, the screensavers are a very easy piece of technology to implement, and they're fairly idiot-proof in their operation. What we do is to take a series of photographs every week of the project. These are taken with little digital cameras. They're saved onto the central server, and remote users download those images from the central server to their own servers and display them as screensavers. The effect of that is to enable engineers in London, for example, or in Sydney to see on a pretty intimate basis what's happening on the job site. They can see last week's progress in graphical terms, in photographic terms, which increases the sense of cohesion and the sense of intimacy, if you like, that remote people have with the project. We'd hoped to use video conferencing fairly extensively on Bluewater at the outset. It seemed to offer a lot of opportunities to connect people rather better than traditional methods, to avoid long-distance traveling for meetings and such like. It hasn't proved to be quite as useful as we had anticipated, perhaps partly because our consultants, who are the main people that we communicate with, are based in London, but also the technology is, in my view, frankly, not yet there. It takes a great deal of support, and it's very difficult to maintain it in a state of readiness for occasional users. So you need to be aware that it's just not a robust, idiot-proof technology today. It will be, but not right now. The document management system is, if you like, a crude approximation of what we hope will eventually be available under CICC-type technologies, that is, a single shared database. At the moment, what we have is a database which contains all of the drawings and specifications, schedules, and other technical documents that are produced on Bluewater. Currently, they amount to about 42,000 individual documents, drawings and so on. They will ultimately be about 120,000 in total. And what we provide here is the ability for people, first of all, to load their documents onto the system over the project network, and then others to download those documents for review and approval or for use on construction site, any application or any purpose that they need. They have instant access to the latest information. That's the key thrust of what we're trying to do, and it has been extraordinarily successful. The CCTV system runs over the video conferencing network, so wherever we've got a video conferencing unit, we can deliver remote pictures of the construction site, and these remote users can actually control the pan, zoom, and tilt camera and can get very close to a real feel for what's happening on the job site. They can see the weather, for example, they can see conditions underfoot, and they can actually see their buildings being constructed. The idea is to enhance this sense of cohesion in the project, to make people feel more intimately aware of the state of play on the job site.
The CICC project will also be evaluating a range of other innovative technologies, including a people and information finder. Ray Crotty explains.
But things that we would like to introduce include the People and Information Finder, a means of navigating your way around the project, around its people and around the information that they have access to. The 3D CAD model, I think, is going to be of enormous importance in the industry generally when it finally emerges, probably in about 5 to 7 years' time. I think the most important thing that we're doing is trying to feel how these technologies are impacting on the social aspects of construction projects. It's a very intangible area. It's very difficult to map out in advance, but I think we're seeing some very dramatic impacts on the way in which projects are organized and managed.
Well, David, as we've seen there, the CICC project has used a whole range of multimedia technologies in a very innovative way to enable collaboration. How successful has the research project actually been?
Well, I think our initial success has been finding out how to measure success when we're dealing with interactions between a very large number of people in teams that are constantly forming and dispersing. The other success is a long way away from Bluewater, that prior to trying out these technologies on the construction sites, we piloted them within the other half of CICC, the cable-making factories, where it's very much easier to introduce a lot of this technology. A lot of the processes are similar, but at least you've got a roof over your head and you can use a PC.
Right. Is the concept of collaboration, though, catching on in the construction industry?
Yes, although in construction it tends to be called partnership, and it's becoming the fashionable thing nowadays. People have to get their feet wet once, and then they begin to realize that they gain more by giving away some information, because the other people start to give away some of the information they dearly wanted to know in their own side. Everybody gains from the process, and the client gets a better product at the end of the day.
Are systems like this ever going to be available in reality, though?
Well, I think we're talking about many components. We've got a vision that sounds very futuristic, but every component is either already there or is still being developed and will come together to form part of that vision in the next few years.